If there's one word to describe the 21st century as we've seen so far, that word would be disruption. Just about every sector, occupation in the world has been disrupted. Some people may fondly want to believe that my occupation will not be disrupted. No such luck. And the latest sector being disrupted is the dairy sector, being turned on its head by technology with cyclonic force. Sadly, very many Indians are still unaware that India has a problem of surplus food grain production. We are loaded with mountains of rice, wheat, and even sugarcane. If you're not convinced, please watch one of my earlier videos, India's Food Puzzle, Don't Cry for Farmers, or Our Farmers, Maradona and Bitter Truths. And to those mountains of rice, wheat, and sugarcane, India now has a new problem, a milk glut. India is the world's largest milk producer. 50 years ago, that would have been an achievement and we would have worn it as a badge. Today, with our milk surplus, it's almost an embarrassment. In 2016-17, India produced 165 million tons of milk. In 2017-18, that went up to 176 million tons. Considering a 6.5% increase in production every year, today we must be producing over 200 million tons of milk. So what do we do with all that milk? Whatever we can't drink gets converted into skimmed milk powder, or what the industry calls SMP. According to the latest estimates, India has 150,000 tons of SMP, a stockpile indeed. How do we get rid of it? Export is the answer, but unfortunately, our prices are not competitive for the global markets. Or in other words, though India is the largest producer of milk, we don't produce it efficiently enough, so our milk is not globally competitive in prices. If we had such a milk surplus before COVID, you can imagine what the lockdown would have done to the industry. With all the restaurants, eateries, wayside tea shops and sweet shops all shut down, the milk surplus problem has increased manifold. No wonder we hear of stories of dairy farmers from Kashmir to Kerala either pouring milk into the drains or on the ground or even drenching themselves in milk. Over the last fortnight, we saw dairy farmers in Pulwama district of Kashmir pouring thousands of liters of milk into the drains.
As COVID lockdown has broken the supply chain, farmers are forced to throw away thousands of liters of milk because dairy processors are refusing to buy.
By the way, Pulwama district is the largest producer of milk in the Kashmir region. And down south in Karasheri Panchayat in Kozhikode, Kerala, farmers took milk baths. They were protesting the suspension of milk collection by the local milk cooperative. I spoke to P.A. Balan, chairman of the Kerala Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, or MILMA, and he gave me another reason why milk production in Kerala has shot up. He says NRIs who returned from different countries during COVID time, owing to job losses or other reasons, also got into dairy farming, adding to the already surplus milk production. So there you have an ocean of milk surplus aggravated by the COVID lockdown, and on top of all that, there's a technological disruption of the dairy sector. The cow has been at the center of India's socio-political discourse for a while, but the fact is globally the cow and its milk are being steadily sidelined by a major technological disruption. Plant-based milk alternatives are popping up everywhere. Plant-based milk substitutes made from soya, almond, oats, coconut, hemp, peas, barley, rice, cashew nuts, hazelnuts, walnuts, you name it. Some of the world's largest food corporates are into it, and so are a number of startups. Today there are over 120 standalone plant-based milk makers around the world. The global dairy industry is valued at about $600 billion. Last year, plant-based milk sales were about $18 billion, or about 3%. Watch out, because they are there for the long run. It's worth looking at some of the major players. The world's largest food company, Swiss conglomerate Nestle, recently introduced a pea-based milk brand, Wonder, calling it epic in everything. And French multinational Danone placed a $10 billion bet on plant-based milks by acquiring WhiteWave. And more recently and most significantly, Swedish company Oatly raised $1.4 billion in an IPO. The first time a plant-based milks company is going for an IPO. Oatly is now valued at over $12.5 billion. Ahead of its Nasdaq listing, Oatly Chief Executive Tony Peterson said, "Our aim is to disrupt one of the world's largest industries, dairy, and in the process lead a new way forward for the food system." When Nestle and Danone are into it, and there are 120 other standalone plant-based milk players, and Oatly is able to raise $1.4 billion in an IPO, we know that plant-based milks are neither a niche nor a fad. So what are the pros and cons of cow's milk vis-a-vis plant-based milks? The advantages are mainly three. Cow's milk is cheaper, it is more nutritious, and it's been a habit. But the list of threats is longer. It is only a matter of time before plant-based milks also become cheaper. And it's only a matter of time before plant-based milks add more nutrients. And an increasing number of people around the world are realizing that they are lactose intolerant or that they're allergic to cow's milk. And plant-based milks don't need cattle to produce it. And on top of that, there is the vegan angle. That vegan bit is playing out even in India. Last week, PETA India asked Amul to benefit from the booming vegan foods market instead of wasting resources trying to fight the demand for plant-based food products that is only growing. And Amul MD R.S. Sodhi shot back. Will they give livelihoods to 100 million dairy farmers, 70% landless? Who will pay for children's school fees? How many can afford expensive lab-manufactured food made out of chemicals and synthetic vitamins? But whether dairy farmers like it or not, plant-based milks are capturing the markets. To me, this looks like a classical shale gas moment for the dairy sector. Petroleum production was already robust, and fossil fuel issues were being raised against the sector when shale gas arrived and literally broke the back of the petroleum industry. Quite the same for the cow's milk sector. Just when milk production is in excess and the Food and Agricultural Organization is saying that 14.5% of all greenhouse gas emissions are by the livestock sector, comes the plant-based milk alternatives. Almost a mirror reflection of the oil crisis. The cow-obsessed nation that we are, it's highly unlikely that we'll give up on cow's milk anytime soon. But our oceans of milk and mountains of milk powder will keep expanding. And it's likely that a few years down the line that our dairy farmers will be out on the streets in protest, like our rice, wheat and sugarcane farmers are doing now. Today is as good a day as any to ponder that. June 1, 2021, the World Milk Day. Are we entering a post-milk generation? Meaning a post-cow's milk era? And what would be its repercussions on 100 million Indian dairy farmers? After all, we dream of a land of milk and honey, not a land of milk and misery. This video is dedicated to Nehruvian, this male calf born on May 27, Jawaharlal Nehru's 57th death anniversary. I believe this young guy is born into a post-milk world. Thank you.